WackMatters is brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial where you can test out Audible's awesome audiobook monthly subscription service. Make sure to go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters.
You want to hear a joke?
I love jokes.
Ohio State.
No, see, I think it's funny, but I don't know. I think I can't let my parents. Now I get to do a fun game. I also like games. You know what I like more than jokes, maybe, Karsten?
Letting your parents listen to this without getting offended?
Games. I have to play a fun game where I can't let my parents listen to this.
Yeah.
Or they'll disown me.
Because you laughed at that?
I'll be out of the will. Because I edit this. I could take that joke out if I want to. I have the power to take that joke out. I'm not going to.
But did they know that until you said it?
Yeah. No, they know that I'm editing this.
Oh, okay.
But I have the power to do that, but I think it's funny, so I'm going to leave it in. But they know that I left it in, so now I get a fun game where I do the inverse, where I usually bug my parents to listen to the show. Actually, you know what? They didn't listen to the show. I don't have to do jack anything. I don't have to do literally a single thing.
I just force my family to listen to it. I'll just throw it up
play
on the
it on.
I just throw it up on the stereo in the living room so that you can hear it throughout the whole
just
house.
Leave. Then I can go to work.
Yeah.
So you wake up super early to go to
5 a.m., bro.
And just plug it in. Bye, guys. What the?
The only thing more annoying than that is the 10-hour loop of He-Man, hey, yay, yay.
What's going on? Yeah, that's for sure gonna get cut. That peaked hard.
Leave it in, bro.
I don't want to be that mean. Okay, so, hey, what is this? What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
Making a whole bunch of jokes.
Podcasting was the correct answer. Let's try again.
Okay.
Hey, Karsten, what are we doing right now?
I don't even know.
So this is the podcast Toon In. It is where...
Oh yeah, we're voting Lex Luthor for president.
Dude! We can start a hashtag or try Lex Luthor 2020.
I'd rather not. I don't want that man running my country.
But that'd be a fun He's a fake... Hey, Karsten, he's fake. Hey,
how about?
Look around your world and you see how we look like people and stuff. They look like cartoons. It's a fun cartoon.
But what if we're the cartoons to them?
I hate you. So, this is Toon In. This is a podcast where me, your host, Marcus, and my co-host,
LeBron James,
Karsten, talk about cartoon shows that we think are appropriate for all ages in an effort to get you and either your kids or your parents or your family.
Or your uncle that lives in your basement.
Essentially just anybody to that you're related to, young and old, to kind of gather around this thing.
in the trash can digging through your stuff right now.
To gather around your TV and watch this together and experience it because it's good for all of us. It's all good. It's all fun. Appropriate for kids, good for adults. It's mature, it's fun, it's very, very good. We're going through the show Justice League Unlimited right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is episode, do you know?
No.
This is episode 14 of Toon In. We've been talking about Justice League Unlimited since episode 6, so we're slowly working our way through the first season of that show. If you don't want any spoilers on that, I believe we're going to get spoilery in some of these, so for kind of overarching plot lines. So heads up, if you don't want to get spoiled, watch the show and catch up with us, and we will be glad to go together. The first episode we are going to be talking about in this episode is called The Doomsday Sanction.
And let me tell you, it was a good one.
This one, so I was watching trailers for this at, as we were watching the credits for the previous episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Doomsday. And I remember, the fighting being really cool and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I did not remember how much, huge plot and motivation and, like, a lot of freaking plot stuff happens in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the first big one where... This is one of the first ones that I think really sells people on the gravity of it. Like, some of the gravity of this season and the story, I think, is this episode.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. How's it start?
So it starts out with we're like listening to the news, and this the news guy's talking about how Lex Luthor is running for president, and then it cuts
Lex
to
Luthor 2020.
Cuts to Amanda Waller in the shower, and then all of a sudden this gloved hand reaches in, and it's Batman.
And he gives her her towel.
Yeah.
He essentially hands her a towel in the shower saying, "Hey, you're done. I need to talk to you."
Mm-hmm. Which isn't weird at all. So they kind of get into like a little mini argument because Waller's all like, the Justice League's too dangerous. We need to have something to stop you with."
She references another dimension episode where there's an episode of Justice League where essentially Lex Luthor becomes president in an alternate reality and kills the Flash, and then Superman goes and kills Lex, and then they essentially become the kings of that universe. Like, they run everything. Or at least of that world, that Earth. And she references, like, hey, I know about this, even though it's super secret and I'm supposed to, and stuff like that.
I'm an in crowd.
Essentially. And then also, she freaking lays out the whole plot work for the thing. So, like, they kind of teased it a little bit here and there. But, they talk about... What am I trying to say? Like, this is the whole point of the season. Like, the whole story of the season is the government is scared of the Justice League, and they might have a good reason to, so they have a special part of the government to try to take out the Justice League. And the whole kind of idea is, like, are they right or wrong? And it's a really hard thing, because, like, as a human being with no powers, I kind of side with the government, who are kind of the bad guys of the season. I think that's really good and smart, especially for a kid's show.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. So then we kind of get some. We kind of cut to this like a boardroom meeting between a whole bunch of the heads of the different
Sides, teams.
the different like teams and
So you get the Justice
agencies.
Yeah,
and stuff.
the original Justice League, the seven.
They're having like a little meeting. Okay, this is what's going on. What do we need to do? While at the same time, the government guys are all having a meeting. Okay, this is what's happening. This is what we need to do. And there's this one guy that's just like, okay, well, the secret weapon, it's almost ready. I just got to do this, this, and this. And Waller's just like, no, we can't do that. You're an idiot. You're fired.
Ooh, also, sorry, real quick. This is, you see Hamilton, Professor Hamilton, who's a mainstay character of the Superman animated show, who is there. And if you remember the episode where we talked about the clone of Supergirl, he's in that one, and they're like, well, how could somebody possibly get my DNA and all this stuff? And you kind of realize that, like, he cloned her. He's a bad guy. He did all of this stuff. And he also references Galatea. So
says she's almost
yes,
fully recovered and ready to get back in.
So she did not die when Supergirl threw a building on top of her.
I mean, I wouldn't expect that to kill her anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, also, you sometimes play fast and loose with rules. Keep going. I just wanted to point out, like, as a kid, when I watched that scene, it freaking rocked my world, because I'd seen, so, like, I watched this in the right way. I had seen Batman the Animated Series, I've seen Superman, I've seen Justice League, and then I saw Justice League Unlimited, like, and seeing, like, he's a bad, what? It blew my mind as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to highlight that I thought that was really cool. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Because you see, what you just did there was you took the situation of me not being able to highlight how brilliant this series is.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like, I almost just brushed completely over that, having not seen any of the previous stuff. Like, this is my...
Because
I'm kind of not doing this right.
It carries zero weight for you.
I'm just
because
like,
you're he was sort of in one episode a while ago.
Like, okay, yeah, he's a bad guy, cool.
Yeah.
I kind of figured.
What? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So then the guy who got fired, he's just like, you'll pay for this! And then he like reaches under the table, pulls out this laser gun, starts shooting everyone in slow motion, and then turns out that was just what was going on in his head.
It was just a dream.
He just wanted to do that.
He's daydreaming.
So he just kind of gets up like the stupid nerd he is and just kind of walks out of the room kind of downtrodden. And then he walks into this secret chamber. He opens the door, and guess who's in there?
Mom.
No.
Kevin Costner?
No, not Kevin Costner. Terry Crews, bro. He's just in there getting his Old Spice on. He's just like, power!
Is it Kanye? Because Kanye, I listened to the Kanye album of last year, and he goes, I'm a superhero! Wah! That is not a joke. That's a direct quote from one of Kanye's songs in his newest album.
But Old Spice Odor Blocker Body Wash is so powerful. It can block odor for up to 16 hours. It's so powerful, it can turn off the sun. Then it gets too cold. So it creates another sun. Double sun power, man.
Let me talk to you about...
That's a superhero right there.
Let me talk to you about our sponsor, Old Spice. I'm kidding. That's a joke. We're not sponsored by Old Spice. You freaking killed that, dude. That was so good. I can't whistle. I can... that's
a
it.
Nerd.
I can't, get a good whistle, and I can't change pitch really, so I just go... I can't really...
You see, the thing is, if you asked me to do it again, I probably could not. I got really lucky there.
Hey, do you want to know what good audio is for podcasting? Just whistling into the mic for several seconds.
We'll just do the next episode completely in whistles.
Okay, this is all gonna get cut. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so... It's Doomsday. Doomsday's in that room. And this guy's just like, yes, you're fully healed from your lobotomy. Because Superman lobotomied him 8 times now.
A different Superman from the one of the other universe's Superman lobotomized.
So, Amanda Waller's been brainwashing him to think, Superman's the bad guy. So this guy thinks, okay, you know what I'll do? I'll undo all of this brainwashing by just straight up telling him, okay, the real bad guy isn't Superman. It's just Amanda Waller who told you that Superman was the bad guy. Go kill her. And Doomsday's just like, ha, sure, let me out real quick. And the guy lets him out. And Doomsday's just like, psych, Superman's the bad guy. I only have one mission, one goal, kill Superman. So he kills that.
Then he kills the scientist.
Yeah, he kills the scientist guy and then runs off. And he's just like, skirt, gotta kill Superman. So he goes and he hunts down Superman. Meanwhile, the Justice League are at this island. I can't remember where. I think it had a name.
I don't remember. It's not important.
It was an island.
There's an island with a volcano on it.
And the volcano's erupting.
Yeah.
Hawaii's about to explode, but it's not Hawaii.
All of Hawaii.
Yeah, just the entire thing. Just boom.
I really like when you hit the mic. It's a good audio.
An explosion.
A kablosion, if you will.
I can do it again.
and that's when it's the volcano's about to slap. we don't have
the volcano's about to.
We don't have freaking sound effects, so we got to make do with the Foley work of punching the mess out of the mic. Just freaking slap it over and pick it up. Okay, cool. We gotta go. All right. Yeah. So the volcano's erupting.
It's erupting. So the Justice League is running evacuations while Superman's breaking physics and plowing through the mountain.
It's a cartoon.
Physics applies, bro, or at least should apply in every situation. It'll take all the fun out of everything and make superpowers pretty much useless. But
yes. But I mean, you gots to.
Because did you know that if you with real physics, if you punched someone with super strength, you would go flying in the opposite. You would both go flying in opposite directions.
Also,
Newton's third law.
Also,
your bones would shatter.
All of your bones would shatter. Also, there's a comic book where they do a lot of real physics. Not all of it is real, but a lot of it's real. And there's a freaking superhero who just flies at the speed of sound and just destroys everything around him.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I mean, speedsters would tear flesh off of people just by running past them.
Yes.
And they would have so much debris following them. It'd be awful.
Yeah. So, needless to say, physics are dumb and bad, and Superman's doing a great job, and everybody's really
So if you're ever approached by a fairy godmother, and she asks you for your wish, and you decide to wish for superpowers, ask for physics-breaking superpowers. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. Specify that you want the superpowers to work exactly like they do in superhero shows and comic books and stuff. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good time for you.
Or it could be a good time. Maybe I want all my thumbs to shatter.
Destroy Smash! Okay. So.
Superman's essentially just digging.
He's
around.
digging. He's a dwarf and he's digging a hole. Diggy hole.
Dig a tunnel. Dig a tunnel. Dig a tunnel. Dig a tunnel. Okay, I don't know any more of that song besides that. I'm tapped out.
Quick before the
A hyena come. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this volcano's just like chasing Superman around because the lava's trying to. It's going with the easiest route. Path of least resistance. So Superman's just like trying to get the lava to go in the opposite directions. And it's kind of working, but it's really not. He's more just delaying the inevitable. And they almost get everyone evacuated, and then Doomsday's just like, surprise! Hello.
Gotcha. Starts a punch fight, and it's really good.
In a volcano. Inside the volcano.
It's
like, throwing each other around in the lava. It's great.
It's super fun to watch.
Kind of disappointed Superman didn't lose his clothes, but whatever.
He did lose his shirt, actually.
Not in the volcano.
When the volcano sort of erupts the first time he does.
But it's just torn off. It doesn't burn up.
Well, yeah. It's made out of special stuff.
It's made out of kryptonite. That seems like it's a bad idea.
It's Kryptonian in origin. Jerk. Gosh. Yeah. So essentially there's just a lot of fighting going on, and then Cadmus realizes what they did. So you know what they do? They launch a kryptonite nuke at the island, essentially.
They're just like, oh, better kill everyone on the island along with Superman and Doomsday.
Because they reference that Doomsday was made in a lab off of some of...
He's a Superman test tube baby.
Yes. So kryptonite should work on him as well.
In theory. I mean, it didn't Batman v Superman, so why shouldn't it be here?
Don't reference that movie. I'll get sad and the word yell.
Martha!
So,
why did you say that name?
This is Mother's name! So, they launch this nuke, Batman goes and tries to stop it in a javelin, and then ends up having to connect it to the javelin, which is the type of plane they use, and then eject himself, and he gets super beat up because of it.
The javelin's also a type of boar.
You're a type of boar.
I am quite the pig.
So then, Batman wins the fight by resorting to doing what the other Superman did. He lobotomizes Doomsday.
Batman did?
Oh, did I say Batman?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Batman just straight up lobotomizes Doomsday and
with his laser vision. It's really
Superman's
weird.
Just like, who are you? And Batman's just like, your worst nightmare.
Batman's like, I've had powers this whole time.
Batman is stronger than Apocalypse himself.
Yeah, Batman's the big bad of Justice League Unlimited. It's really confusing. It breaks a lot of canon, but you got to.
No, he's not the big bad. He's the only one who can take down Apocalypse. He goes out, he gets all 7 Dragon Balls, all of the Power Rings. He gets the Infinity Gauntlet with all of the Infinity Stones.
He also has he also has all of the Captain Planet rings.
Yes.
Stupid.
The Captain Planet rings, the Lantern rings, the Infinity Gauntlet with all of the Infinity Stones, all of the Chaos Emeralds,
all the Dragon Balls,
and the Dragon Balls.
Hold on, what other stupid fetch quests are there in fiction? Wait, there's more.
The One Ring.
Yeah, he has freaking the One Ring and
plus all of the Elves rings and the Dwarfs rings
and the rings of the men. While we're at it,
yeah.
Stupid. No, so Superman...
He is unstoppable. Plus he's got money.
Superman lobotomizes Doomsday, and it's a big deal because...
You can't kill Doomsday the same way twice.
Well, no, it's because that he kind of was never going to do that. Like, the idea of performing a lobotomy on somebody was like something Superman...
Like snapping the neck.
Yeah, shouldn't do, kind of, and it's like a big deal like, oh, no. No, not like snapping the neck, because the difference is Doomsday is a monster that is bred to only kill Superman.
And Zod was more just an inconvenience.
Yeah, and Zod was a living soul that had, passion and desires and was alive and wasn't a monster. He was a thing, like a human.
Person.
Yes. So that's the difference. That's why this is still good. But, he lobotomizes him, and then they send him to the Phantom Zone, essentially. And then Batman gets kind of surreal and yells at him.
And it's just like, he, like, recognizes that...
Maybe Cadmus is right.
Maybe Cadmus is right. Maybe Superman shouldn't exist.
Yeah, because he's like...
And, like, this isn't like the DC Cinematic Universe Batman that's just like, oh, I've got enough kryptonite up my butt that I could fight Superman.
Yeah, like, this is
like...
a real Batman...
Who's like, I have no chance against Superman if something were to happen.
Or, like, it is so very real that he's like, I don't have a chance. Like, especially the 7 original Justice League members. He could not be any of them. Hands down. I don't even think that they would argue, the people who made the show would argue that he could. Like, this, and like, sometimes you get comics like, oh, Batman can beat anybody with prep time and stuff. But, like, let's be real. Like, he could maybe beat Green Lantern, because Green Lantern, like, if he couldn't get the ring fast enough, but, like, the Flash is too fast, everybody else is too strong, physically, for him to, like, he couldn't beat anybody in the fight. Superman, to say the least, and he's like...
too wet.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are scary. Like, there's essentially a part, like, where he talks, like, very, like, yeah, it's scary, kind of, and, like, it's a really weird moment for Batman to, like, kind of break down like that, but he's like, no, like, maybe they're right. And then after he kind of yells at Superman leaves, and it ends with the show blacking out as he's watching TV, and you see an election commercial.
Lex Luthor in front of an American flag.
And it's kind of showing like, oh no, because Batman was essentially saying, if you're going to send people to the Phantom Zone and cast judgment and stuff like that, where's the line? It feels like a slippery slope for you to become like the Justice Lords from the other world. Mm-hmm. And then... oh no, is it going to happen? Lex is running for president just like the other world. Is it going to happen?
All we got to do is keep the Flash safe.
Oh, that was funny. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
I was looking at what the next episode was.
Cheat sheet?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the next episode?
I wouldn't know.
It's called Task Force X.
It's like the better Suicide Squad.
It is the Suicide
Squad, but not bad.
Yeah, it's also, this is the Suicide Squad. Another name for Suicide Squad in the comics is Task Force X. So essentially, you just get a fun heist movie.
Yeah.
This is...
in 30 minutes.
This is one of my favorite episodes. I say that a lot, but like straight up, I've always loved this one. It was my favorite for a long time. Yeah, it's like, there's not a lot to say. So like, they, Rick Flag, who's the leader of Task Force X, he's the only government funded, I signed up for this person, goes and gets Deadshot from Death Row, and then he goes and introduces Deadshot to Captain Boomerang, Plastique, and the Clock King, and they decide essentially that they're going to go steal a magic thing from
the Justice League themselves.
Oh, so they gotta go and, like, do, like, this huge heist on the Watchtower, and it's really fun to watch, and, like,
it is very entertaining.
There's a really cool moment when, like, they sneak on board by pretending to be staff, and then they go in a supply closet and, like, get their gear ready, and Deadshot has, like, a gun made out of ceramic, so it made it through the checks, and Captain Boomerang has, like, the sleeve of hidden boomerangs, and, like, Plastique has, like,
a fake
body that she rips off, so she has, like, all these bombs and stuff. It is really fun, and you watch, like, all of these people kind of run around, and when, also, because I always like to bring out the moments when this show gets mature for kids and stuff. Freaking, guess what, Karsten?
What?
Somebody dies in this episode. They do a murder. They don't highlight it, but if you remember correctly, so essentially the plan is, Plastique and Deadshot are going to go blow up the reactor in the Watchtower while Boomerang and Flag go and get the thing, and then they're going to meet up and go leave, essentially, is what's going on. But, somebody spots Deadshot and Plastique as they're setting the bombs, so he beats him up and then knocks him out and leaves him in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking, they let somebody die! And they don't explain it, like, they don't go like, oh, somebody died, but like, like, that dude was, so let's say, miraculously, this dude lived through the explosion. He was just chilling in a room with radiation. That dude's dead.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a mature show. And then, so they go and blow up the thing, and then they go, oh, also, what were they stealing? Do you remember? It's from your favorite episode.
They were stealing the giant suit of armor from Hawk and Dove.
Hawk and Dove, the best episode of the show. No, Hawk and Dove's bad.
Ah!
But,
dang, pacifists.
yeah, they go and they get the robot, and then they start trying to make their escape, and they run into Vigilante, Shining Knight, and freaking Atom Smasher.
And they get their butts handed to them.
For one of the best... Yeah, they freaking barely make it alive. It is one of the best fights in the whole show. Because I think that it is very much a fight where... So this is a neat episode, because it's the only episode of season 1 that is shot from the perspective of the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So the bad guys are the antagonists of this episode. And you get them freaking, like... I'm trying to think of... They're fighting on their heels the whole time. Like, the robot is very good and strong at fighting, essentially. But, like, if that robot was not there, they would have gotten their butts handed to them. Because, like, they were fighting on their heels most of that fight anyway.
They were getting destroyed by a cowboy and a literal man in a suit of armor with a sword.
It was a magic suit of armor.
Doesn't matter.
It's a magic sword. It's a magic sword, dude.
It's a magic name. He's a magic man.
It's magic. But, it's really fun. I don't know, like, I cannot... Besides the fact that I like fights of, like, where people are, like, on their heels, but kind of holding their own, but clearly losing.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are fun to watch. But, like, besides that, like, it's really good. It's really well... I mean, also the animation for it's phenomenal, of course.
Oh my goodness. Oh!
Wake up! Wake up!
Not that far. I've been up since...
Wake up, stupid!
No, this is what happens when you run off of 3 hours of sleep.
I have a 5-hour energy. You want to slam that?
I might later on the way home.
Fair enough.
Because I don't want to die tonight. I'm trying to figure out your neighborhood exit. Man, I would have just moved if I had that construction.
Yeah, I forgot.
Like, no joke. I get, like, a quarter mile away from the road work, like, that's outside of the entrance to your neighborhood. My GPS was just like, you're on your own.
I'm out.
See ya. Recomputing.
So then, they essentially go and escape.
Yeah.
But they almost
but
don't.
They leave Plastique.
Plastique gets left behind, and they only escape because she threatens to blow up
Atom Smasher.
And then
she threatens to blow his mind.
Yeah. They escape, and then you find out that somebody got paid off to give them all the information because they gave him a chemical that would not let Martian Manhunter read his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So when he tried to read everybody's mind, that was the one person he couldn't. And it's an episode where you see the bad guys win. The bad guys win this one.
Yeah.
But the bad guys win this one.
But they kind of win, yeah.
No, they just win, and it's, like, sort of sad. It's supposed to be... It's not as sad as it could be, because it's also just too rad of an episode. This episode's freaking rad as heck.
It is a radical episode.
But, more importantly, it's also just... Like, it's supposed to be sad in the story, because, like, you see the good guys lose for the first time.
Fair enough.
This is my favorite, I think, of the... I can't even say it. Karsten, what do you think your favorite episode this week is?
Ooh.
Which one did you like more? I think it's a tough question, because there's two really good ones.
Probably the Doomsday one.
It's fair. But they're both really good.
Yes, I will not disagree about that.
This show's amazing, to say the least. Karsten?
I suck at Rubik's Cubes.
What do you want to remind the people of? We gotta wrap up this show. What do you want to remind the people of?
Well, everyone needs to remember that we sell sweaties.
We do sell those sweaties. We got a freaking market for
Get
sweaties.
sweaty in our sweaties.
Also, why don't you try on a t-shirt? It's getting a little warm. Hey, Karsten, it's a little warm outside.
It was 32 degrees yesterday, and that didn't change my dressing habits.
But it's getting a little warm outside. You know what you can wear when it's a little warm? Just
sweaty.
A good... Stupid. Oh, a WackMatters tee.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Or we can make WackMatters underwear. And people could just run around in that. Like just WackMatters boxers.
You could just get a WackMatters tattoo and then just not wear a shirt or something.
It has to be above the belt.
Stupid, I hate you.
Please edit that out.
You dummy. You dumb boy. I'm gonna edit out what you said.
It could be like on your knee.
I'm gonna edit out what you said, and I'm not gonna edit out me calling you dumb. So it's just gonna cut. So it's gonna be cut to me just saying, you dumb boy. But also, you know what I want the people to do? I want you to stop what you're doing right now. Pause
subscribe
this.
to Vsauce.
Go subscribe to PewDiePie. No, screw Michael. Screw, you heard, hey, you guys heard it here? Screw Michael.
Hey, Michael, Vsauce here. I did it backwards on purpose.
Go subscribe to PewDiePie.
Where are your fingers?
Go subscribe to PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Don't let T-Series pass him.
Or, on opposite day, you can subscribe to T-Series, because that counts as an unsubscribe.
No.
Yeah.
No. If you are, however, actually, that's a good point. If you're freaking subscribed to T-Series and you're listening to this right now, go pause it.
Like, you need to go and rethink your life, my dude.
Yeah, but
you're basically doing like the YouTube equivalent of creating and using up in its entirety a diamond hoe.
What a specific Minecraft joke you... So... Well, you could unsubscribe to PewDiePie, or no, don't unsubscribe to PewDiePie. Don't do that.
It just got real.
Go unsubscribe to T-Series and subscribe to PewDiePie. That's what I need you to do. I also need you to subscribe to us.
Then we must establish my new world order.
Subscribe to us on any podcast catcher you got.
That too.
Subscribe to us on the YouTubes. Go like our Facebook page.
Retake the motherland. What?
Go like us on Instagram.
Twitter.
Yeah, freaking follow us on Twitter, guys.
Neat.
If you have an opportunity to rate us in any way, give us a like or anything like that. It means a lot. Again, I stressed this last episode, not just
all ratists.
Yeah, not just because of the free. What did you say? I like not just because of the growth we get when you guys like and rate and things like that, but also because of like the validation of, hey, we appreciate the thing that you're working on and stuff like that means a lot. And I really want to stress that, like, I hope it doesn't sound disingenuous. Karsten's trying to take bad selfies while I'm talking. It's very hard.
I was not trying to take a bad selfie. I just tried to take a normal selfie and the angle was horrible and I surprised myself with how hideous I am.
Karsten, I think you're a beautiful boy.
My shirt's not off right now, Marcus. You can't see
you're a beautiful, beautiful boy. And I want everybody to know that if you want to listen to this beautiful boy's voice, that you're going to have to tune in next time.
Thanks for listening to the podcast that we produce here at WackMatters.com. Just in case you didn't know, we have a lot of different shows running right now. There's Life's What You Rate It, where me and my brother Mark rate everything on a scale from 1 to 10 that exists in the entire universe. Toon In, where Marcus and his friend Karsten talk about cartoons and their value for people of all ages. Of course, Whack Tracks, where me and a bunch of friends make commentary tracks for whatever shows or movies we might be into at the time. And our newest show on the network, The Music Matters, where my friend Trevor creates a discussion around all the matters relating to music. If you'd like to support the content we make here at WackMatters.com, please go to WackMatters.storeenvy.com and check out our merchandise section. We sell t-shirts right now, and there's more merchandise to come. Even if you don't want to buy a t-shirt, there is a donate button at WackMatters.com that you can use to support the content that we already make and to help fund creative ideas for the future. Additionally, this podcast is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial with Audible.com where you get to listen to a free audiobook of your choosing and can continue subscribing for an awesome audiobook content subscription. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/WackMatters. We love you all and hope you will continue checking out the content we make here at WackMatters.com. Have a great day.